This video tutorial introduces the set of connectivity reports available in the Transit Network Analysis software tool. The button located on the far right of the OTA floating dialog box must be clicked to access the Tabular Reports menu control. If the mouse is hovered over the label Connectivity Reports, the Transit Hubs Reports, the Connected Transit Networks Reports, the Connected Transit Agencies Reports, and the Park and Ride Reports can be accessed. Clicking on the label Transit Hubs Reports opens a new tab in the browser that displays the Transit Hubs Summary Report. Each row of the Transit Hubs Summary Report represents a cluster of transit stops. Several metrics for each cluster that are related to transit, population, and geography are organized in 20 columns. The values reported by the metrics displayed by the Transit Hubs Summary Report are based on several inputs, including population source, GTFS source, stop cluster radius in miles, population search radius in miles, and park and ride search radius in miles. The total number of clusters and the values reported for the metrics associated with these clusters for a given population and GTFS source can be changed by entering new values for the stop cluster radius, population search radius, and park and ride search radius, and then pressing the Submit button. It is important to mention that some of the metrics in the Transit Hubs Summary Report are date dependent. For example, the value reported for the metric visits count will increase or decrease depending on which days of the week are considered in its calculation. Therefore, the Transit Hubs Summary Report includes a date picker control. When the date picker control is expanded, it shows that today's date is selected by default. Clicking on a date with the mouse will add it to a list displayed to the left of the calendar control. Dates are removed by clicking on them with the mouse. Once the desired dates have been selected, the Submit button must be pressed to update the Transit Hubs Summary Report. Clicking on the label Connected Transit Networks Reports opens a new tab in the browser that displays the Connected Transit Networks Summary Report. The purpose of the Connected Transit Networks Summary Report is to show which transit networks are considered as connected. Transit agencies are considered to be connected if they have at least one transit stop located within the maximum spatial gap in miles of any other transit agency. The default maximum spatial gap of the Connected Transit Networks Summary Report is set to 0.1 miles. If the value of the maximum spatial gap is changed to 0.01 miles, the Connected Transit Networks Summary Report shows a total of 6 clusters of connected transit agencies. One cluster contains 54 transit agencies, 2 clusters contain 3 transit agencies, and 3 clusters contain a single transit agency. Clicking on the identification number of a transit agency in the column labeled Connected Agency IDs, or clicking on the name of a transit agency in the column labeled Connected Agency Names, opens the Connected Transit Agencies Extended Report for the transit agency selected. The Connected Transit Agencies Extended Report lists all the transit agencies that are connected to the selected transit agency, as well as detailed information about the transit stop connections. Clicking on the label Connected Transit Agencies Reports opens a new tab in the browser that displays the Connected Transit Agency's summary report. The purpose of the Connected Transit Agency's summary report is to show which transit agencies are connected to a specific transit agency. Transit agencies are considered to be connected if they have at least one transit stop located within the maximum spatial gap, in miles, of any other transit agency. The default maximum spatial gap of the Connected Transit Agency's summary report is set to 0.1 miles. Clicking on any of the hyperlinked values in the column labeled Agency ID opens a new tab in the browser that displays the Connected Transit Agency's extended report for the selected agency. Clicking on the label Park and Ride Reports opens a new tab in the browser that displays the Park and Ride Summary Report. The Park and Ride Summary Report lists summary statistics about the park and ride facilities available in each county in the state of Oregon. More detailed information about the park and ride lots in a county can be accessed by clicking on any of the hyperlinked values in the column labeled County ID. This action opens a new tab in the browser that displays the Park and Ride Extended Report for the county selected. The Park and Ride Extended Report displays additional information about the park and ride lots located in the county selected. This information is organized in 19 columns in the report.